Hello, this is Tracy Newman from Sleepy Wisdom and the Navigator's Tarot on Facebook. I am known as, and if you would like to book a reading, a personal reading, then all of my details will be in the description box below, and my website is sleepywisdom.com. Okay, we're going to look at the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine energies for the week starting the 7th of March 2022. When I talk about the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine energies, I'm actually talking about the energies. It does not matter whether it is in within a masculine or a feminine. We both have the masculine and feminine energies within, and it is those that we are always striving to balance out at this time of the awakening on this planet Earth. At this time. Okay, so I'll put my glasses on because I need them to read. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. So, Spirit, can you actually give me a direction of where the masculine energies are at the moment, at this given time? March 2022. The masculine energies at the moment, look, in the past energies here, we've had the Messenger of Fire, which is a very, very kind of, the Messenger of Fire is like the Knight of Wands and can be quite an in-out type of energy, very fast moving, can come forward very quickly and then retreat just as quickly. This is in the past that the masculine energies have actually been in that type of dynamic. But this is in the past, and it's actually, and if you look at it from the outer point of view, when you look at the earth and the world and the way it has actually been right now, there has been no real stability in this earth for quite some time. The Messenger of Wands is not a particularly stable energy. As I've said, it is not particularly loyal to oneself, and acts sometimes very quickly and always not very stable. And so that energy has been predominant on the earth for quite some time, as we've noticed with everything that is going on at the moment, with the fact that you know, the instability with the different wars that have been happening over the years that have all been very dominating and domineering in the way that they've been, but also extremely unstable and making countries extremely unstable. This is the energy that has been in the past, but it has also been a part of the divine masculine and the masculine, the toxic masculine within ourselves. So, and so as within, so without, and what sometimes it can manifest as a fast in-out energy. However, things are starting to look up and things are starting to actually change a little bit. There seems to be a little bit more of a dynamic of love that is coming onto the planet right now, and actually a love that the masculines are starting to actually see, and it can be in the form of like a form of love between two people, and also too, it can also mean that we are beginning in our masculine sides within ourselves are also starting to sort of like reach out to the feminine within. And so we're starting to find more of a balance between the two dynamics of masculine and feminine within, and that shall then, of course, manifest without. So there is starting to come into this beautiful union energies of two. Both the masculine and the feminine energies now coming in together to vibrate on the same level. And so that's where we're at the moment with the divine masculine. We also have the moon here. And what is hidden is this beautiful nascent energy of going within, and very deep, deep emotion going within to find those very, very deep emotions that that can sometimes keep us very locked into a certain way of being. But the moon will require us, which is actually a very feminine energy. The moon is actually a very feminine energy, which can also, when trying to get the masculine's attention, will ask them to go within and to go look very, very deeply within their own energy systems for truth. So that's the moon, and that is what is hidden. So there is a great deal of that happening as well. There are, if you see in our outer world at the moment, what appears to be the truth often is not. And if you look deeper and go deeper, you will actually find that there is a lot happening underneath the surface that we have no real idea about, but that will eventually bring a more balanced perspective onto the earth plane. And so as within, without, it is happening within ourselves, and then of course it shall start to project into our outer world, and we'll begin to see the results of that moon-like energy, that feminine energy of going within, very deep within, and finding the truth and the answers that we seek. At the moment though, the challenge is the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man can be a time where it's a time for us and for the masculines to sort of like hang back for a little bit. The universe and the energies that, and the divine energies that are maybe sort of like pushing us here and there, will often tell us at certain points this is not the right time, and it is time just to hang back. But it gives us time to contemplate and actually see exactly where it is that we need to change at any given moment, and ready to move ahead when the universe provides the energies to move ahead. But right now, the masculine energies are in the Hangman, which is hanging back and just waiting. That is a challenge for the masculine, who quite often is all about action. But in this situation, the divine is asking the energies to hang back and to wait until the right time for movement forward. And in the environment, we have the messenger of air, which is the knight of air. Now, the knight of air can be quite cutting to the truth, and can be about movement forward too, but very quickly. And this is in the environment. So there may be some movement forward that we will see within ourselves, within the masculine energies, which is also, about, of course, the masculine is not always about, it's about doing more than it is about being. So I think the masculine is really desperate to find the truth of who he really is within his own world and his own emotional world, and also within his thoughts. The masculine can actually become very, very not so much in their emotions, and seems to, like we get into our head, and that's a very masculine thing to do. And because, the masculines have traditionally not been taught, and culturally a lot of the time not being taught to go within and to access emotions. So the masculine energy of truth and action is in this card. And that's what's in the environment. And if you see that in our outer world and in our outer environment, there is a great deal of change that is happening and action. We cannot always see it as with the moon. There is a lot of undercover sort of action also happening as well within the masculine. So they are working very, very diligently in an undercover way to bring about change and a different emotional well-being to themselves and to all those that they have contact with. And you can see that in the outer world as well of what is going on right now. There is a lot of undercover work that a lot of us do not see, and it is about getting to the truth and acting on that truth, which I feel at the moment we will see in the coming weeks and months ahead. Now, at the moment we have, this is the advice. This is the temptation card. Now, the masculines are and feminines, but more the masculines, the masculine energy is often tempted. The masculine and feminine energies, the feminine represents the light, the masculine the dark. And quite often the masculines can be lured quite easily by the devil in the form of materialism, in the form of sex, in the form of addictions, in the form of all of that sort of devil energy. Now, the thing is, this is in the advice, and what it's saying is to actually recognize when those temptations come in. It is a good thing to be able to sort of look at it and see it for what it is. And you can see that too also in our outer world. And I would go so far as to say that the mainstream media and a lot of the other sort of other ways that we're being cheated and where we're being used is in this card. And that can also manifest within ourselves, in our own energies, that we also, it's like, where are we lying to ourselves? How are we being tempted to move away from the love that we feel for ourselves and others? How are we being coerced away into manipulation? And how are we being used and how are we doing that to ourselves? Because it's all right to kind of look without and blame others for our predicament of where we are, and be totally in the addiction template, but at the same time we do have to take responsibility for our own actions and for where we are, and when we are tempted by the devil, and anything else out there. So at this point in time, the advice is to look very, very carefully within and see where we have somehow created blocks to real freedom, and where we are being trapped by our addictions and our temptations that are coming at us by a darker force. The last card is the High Priestess. But I will actually maybe look at the High Priestess, and this is the masculine is looking at the High Priestess and probably looking at the feminine. Now, this is probably within ourselves. Probably right now, the divine feminine is represented by the High Priestess. She is in control. She is of a lighter energy. She's very wise. She knows exactly where she's going, what she's doing. She's given herself to God. She has given herself to the higher forces and works very diligently within those forces and with those forces. She is the master of her own destiny, and she knows exactly where it is that she needs to go. Where spirit goes, so does she. In fact, they are one and the same. And this is how the masculine sees the divine feminine. But however, the divine masculine within ourselves also needs to sort of recognize that this particular feminine energy is within all of us. And right now we're starting to also see this on the earth plane, where a lot of the divine feminines have stepped up and have become truth seekers within their own right, and also coming out, telling their truth about how things are, and also bringing beautiful healing energies onto the earth plane, because we all know now that this is the year for the reclamation of Jesus Christ. This is the coming together in union energies of the Christos Sophia, so the original god and goddess represented in both of those deities. And that energy is now coming onto the earth, but first it must come from within, and before it can actually become a balanced energy with others, it must first be balanced within ourselves. So that is how this divine energy is on the earth plane right now, and it is also what the masculine is beginning to recognize is a part of himself, and starting to see that feminine energy within himself that is all-knowing, intuitive, works with God, really starting to really hone into divinity, and how that part of himself can now access those energies of divinity and what's the word? Not dualistic. I would say working with the divine in union, and how that can come about within himself. And so bringing in those Christos energies and the Sophianic energies as well. Then we have, that was the last card, but I do have two more. The Ace of Fire, which is a card of action, and it is new. It is a new action that the masculines want to bring in, and justice. You'll see this on the earth as well. So this is what's going on within the masculine. You've got the Ace of Fire, which is about action towards himself and others. So real action in, even though that these are also saying to hang back, and he's waiting for the right time where he can bring justice to the energies within himself and a balance, and also towards the divine feminine. So you can actually see this too within and also without. There is, even though it appears that there would not be any justice on this earth right now, there is a great deal of undercover justice being, if you are in tune with it at all, you can actually see and feel and hear that divine justice is coming. And these are future energies, but so they're not here quite yet, but this is where the masculine is going. He will take action, and he will bring justice to the divine feminine. And that is what is happening on the earth right now. The divine feminine is the earth structure, and the undercover work that is being done by divine forces on the earth are bringing justice to not only the earth, but to the people of the earth as well, so that we can bring down those Christos Sophianic energies onto the earth plane. But first, of course, they must start within ourselves. So it is about always balancing the divine masculine and the divine feminine within ourselves. I hope this brings some clarity. If not, well, take what resonates and then ditch the rest. Okay, bye.